Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 44th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. The team today consists of Brotherhood member TALOS, who has bought the Rome BROTHERHOOD faction. Then we have Brotherhood member Mystique, who has bought the Rome Julii faction. And their third teammate is SOA Serena, who has also bought the Julii faction. This is a normal 31k rules game, which is no artillery, no elephants, 3 berserkers max, 2 horse archers max, and 6 cav max. And this team looks pretty good. At this stage of the battle, I thought I'd pause the game and just have a look at Brotherhood members Mystique's army here. And as you can see, Mystique has bought 20 infantry units here. And this is unusual for Mystique, but the only reason I should think that she's bringing that many infantry is because they're facing a lot of pikes. And of course, if you're facing a lot of pike units, having a lot of infantry is pretty useful. So that's the reason I think Mystique has bought this much infantry. It'll be interesting to see as the battle pans out how she uses all this infantry, because she's very good with infantry, and I think this could be some great tactics to watch here. And here is the other team here. We have Greeks Diomedes, who has bought the Macedon faction. And we have Greeks Cleomenes, who has bought the Pontus faction. And we have a Titans member called Beast, who has bought the Rome SPQR faction. So there's the other team, and as you can see, there's certainly a lot of pikes there. So I think that Mystique bringing all that infantry was probably a good move, especially when you're facing 2 massive pike armies. Let's see what happens. At this stage of the battle, I thought we might have a look at the 2 pike factions here. Here we have Diomedes' Macedon army here. As you see, he's bought 14 pike units and 6 Cretan archers. And if you notice the formation here of the Macedon army, you can see that it's in quite depth. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of pikemen here, and then the 6 Cretan archers at the back there. So that's a pretty strong Macedon army. If you notice, no cavalry in this Macedon army, so I think he's relying on pure weight of numbers with those 120-man pike units. And here we have a look at Pontus. Now Pontus is not a faction that is greatly bought to the Rome Total War 31k battlefield, but they've got very long pikes, good chariots, and quite good cavalry as well. But I think looking at this army, I can just see that he's bought pikes and chariots. I think no cavalry here. As you can see, there's a close-up of their chariots here, strong and powerful, but the only trouble with these chariots is if they're panicked, they do run amok. And those of you that's watched other battle videos that I've put on here will know that if a chariot runs amok, it kills both friend and foe alike, and it can be a real menace to all armies on the battlefield. But they are quite powerful, a powerful force to use if used properly. Also, I noticed that Pontus has bought 2 chariot archers here, and if you have a close-up, you can see the archers on the back of the chariots there. Quite good detail. I think the graphics for this game, bearing in mind it's 9.5 years old, is still pretty good, really, because it's really good to see how clear things are there. So that's the Pontus army, and I can't wait for this battle to start. I think it's going to be a great one to watch.
Units forward!
At this early stage of the battle, you can see that Talos is moving forward his infantry here, facing the Macedon pikemen. As you can see, what Talos will be doing there is throwing pilers into the mass ranks of those Macedon pikemen there. And as you can see, the armies are all starting to face each other. Here you can see on the left flank, Mystique is taking round half her army round the left flank here. Now, do you remember what I said to you about in the past, when you fight pike units, really you want to try and avoid fighting them head on. So Mystique is taking half her army round the flank there with a view to a flank or rear attack there. But as you can see, the pike factions, the enemy pike factions, are pretty close there, backed up by their SPQR ally. So I think this is going to have to be a very tactical battle here, because with all those pikes you have to be tactical. At this early stage of the battle here, you can see that the Macedon pike units have moved forward to engage one of Talos's infantry units there. There's a bit of close-in fighting there of the Macedon and the Urbans fighting. And as you can see over on the far left, you can see that Mystique's half of her Julii army, she's moved around to the left there, backed up by Talos's cavalry. And what they're trying to do is do a wide left flanking action there, probably if possible trying to get the Macedon Cretan archers, because the Cretan archers have been put out there as well to shoot at them. So probably what they're thinking is if they can do a wide flanking action, especially backed up with Talos's cavalry, they might be able to take out some of those archers as well. You can see Titan's Beast SBQR cavalry are coming across there to threaten Talos as maybe archers, and as they outnumber his cavalry, to threaten his cavalry as well. And as you can see, one of Talos's cavalry units is chasing down a Macedon Cretan archer there, a unit, to try and kill it. As you can see here, Macedon's being used quite aggressively here in an attacking action against Talos's Brutii infantry here. And here they come to now. What my guess is, what Talos are trying to do here is maybe try and hold the pikeman here while he tries to get units around the flank. Because, as I said before, those of you that's watched other battle videos will know Rome generals don't really like to take pike units on head on if they can help it. But the only time they do is if they've got a plan, such as trying to get units round the rear or flank of the pike units while other units are actually holding them while fighting them. But it looks to me like the pike units here are trying to cover their flanks as well here. As you can see, Mystique's other half of her Julii army are moving around the back of the pike units in a very wide attacking movement there, backed up with Talos's cavalry. Now here you can see the Pontus chariots are going to hit Talos's cavalry here, and bang! They charge straight into his cavalry. But because Talos stood his cavalry still there, you can see that that has routed the Pontus chariots there. And now you can see that Mystique's infantry are moving in as well. And so that was a good move by Talos. He lost a lot of cavalry there, but actually standing still there really made the difference with those chariots. As you can see here, the Macedon pikemen are making inroads into the Brutii Roman infantry here. And if you notice here, Mystique has put some units into testudo formation, and this is to actually, when you're facing pike units that might attack you, put them into testudo with their all-round shield defense there, actually slows down any attacking pike units. So that's a good move by Mystique there. As you can see there, the pikemen were not doing a lot of damage to that testudo unit with its all-round shield defense. You can see Serena with her Julii cavalry has just charged into an attacking SBQR force there. And decided to pull back again, probably ready for another cavalry charge, where Serena's hoping to get the full cavalry charge bonus there. But actually, to be honest, on our right here, it doesn't look that good for the for Talos and Mystique or Serena's team here. It looks like the enemy SPQR infantry are getting the upper hand here. So Mystique and Talos' right flank might be in a little bit of danger there. As you can see over on the left here, the Macedon pikemen are doing very well against Talos' infantry here. So Talos and Mystique's left flank is not looking great here either. So things are not looking very good for Mystique, Talos and Serena at this time. You see Mystique, that half her army that she took round the back of the pikemen now, she charged several units into the rear of the enemy SPQR infantry here. That was a great move by Mystique there. So Serena's infantry were fighting the front of the SPQR infantry, and then Mystique hit them in the rear with her infantry there. But I think that Serena's infantry were so badly damaged anyway that they a lot of the units have routed now. So I see Serena's still got some cavalry left, but most of Serena's infantry, I believe, have been routed. So so that most of the Julii infantry that you see there now is Mystique's. So it's kind of almost like if most of, I think Serena's got some cavalry left, but if most of her infantry's gone now, it's almost turned into a 2v3 with Talos and Mystique taking on SPQR Macedon on Pontus now. There's a close-in of the Pontus pike units now. They are actually going into the rear of some of Mystique's units that are fighting the SPQR infantry there. So you can see that some of Mystique's infantry are starting to rout. As you can see, Talos is bringing some Brutii infantry over to help Mystique here. But if you look at all the enemy SPQR infantry, you look at the Pontus pikes, and the Macedon pikes, things are not looking that good for the Brotherhood team at the moment. As you can see, I think that Serena's general's just been routed there. Yeah, so things are, as I say at the moment, if you look at the situation at the moment, I think that it's not looking very good for the Brotherhood team, and I think Mystique's general's just been killed as well now. So that means that there's a lot of her infantry now will be their morale will drop, and then the general's dead. I've paused the game here just to have a general look at the game here. If you look, you can see that with all the pike units and the enemy SPQR army that's still there, things are not looking very good for Talos or Mystique. I think all of Serena's army now has been routed, so it's just Talos and Mystique's army that is left against these massive pike units and a lot of SPQR infantry. Let's just see what happens here. As you can see over at the back there, there's a lot of pike and Roman battling going on there. As you can see, Mystique's pulling some of the Roman units back there, not wanting to face the Pontus spearmen head on. My guess is that she'll pull back and probably look for an advantage to get round the rear or the flank there. As you can see, a lot of Talos' infantry has just routed at this stage. So now, if you look on the battlefield now, you'll see mostly SPQR infantry and a heck of a lot of pike units. So I think looking at this battle at the moment, I don't think things are looking all that good for Mystique and Talos. Also here you can see that Mystique has got some infantry units fighting, and a chariot unit has just gone into the back of them, and it's amazing that they haven't routed at this stage. But with just one chariot unit hitting them, maybe that just hasn't lowered their morale enough to rout them. There's a close-up of them fighting at the moment. Now if that unit, that Pontus chariot unit runs amok, there, now it's gone red. You see it's gone red, it's now run amok, and now it'll start killing everything, enemy and friend alike. As you can see, there's a close-up of them killing their own men and killing the Brotherhood members' army as well. There it goes. It's turned again, running amok straight into its enemy, killing loads of its own men. It killed loads of its SPQR allies there. And if you notice now, the pike units are starting to form like a little box, like a defensive box there, and this could be very difficult to penetrate. As you can see, there's like little battles going on all over this area at the moment with infantry, Roman infantry and pike units here. There now, with the Pontus general dead, Pontus's morale is not very good anyway. So with the general being killed as well, I would think that will lower the Pontus pikemen's morale quite a lot. That's a very good thing for Talos and Mystique at this stage of the battle. As you can see, I think Talos has got one cavalry unit left, which he's using very well. Right, I've paused the game again at this stage so you can take stock of what's actually happening here. As you can see, the pike units there have formed a box here, and there's a lot of pike units still attacking at the moment. As you can see, there's some Julii infantry caught in a sandwich, a Pontus sandwich there, with pike units coming in from the left and the right hand side there. There's some of Talos's infantry left and some of Talos's cavalry left, and Mystique has still got a bit of infantry left. But trying to actually penetrate that pike box could be quite difficult. So be interesting to see what happens in the next stage of the battle. See, Mystique having those two Julii units in Testudo is very good. Here, can you see there a chariot that had run amok has just charged into Mystique's infantry, killing loads of her men there. And it is such a menace when that charges in like that. They almost seem to do more damage when they run amok than they do in a normal situation. And here we see that Mystique is now charging in infantry here in an all-out attack on Pontus and the SPQR. Here's Talos sending in a Brutii cavalry hit there. That was a nicely timed attack there.
The gods be praised!
And has now routed the SPQR general.
His men know their doom approaches.
And a lot of the SPQR infantry just been routed there with that great cav hit by Talos. Used a lot of his RTW experience there to target the SPQR general, knowing that it would cause a lot of rout. And of course, if you notice, a few of the Pontus units now have routed, and that's because their morale was already low because their general was dead, and then when allies start routing, it lowers their morale even more and made them rout. And as you can see, Talos is doing a great job with that one cavalry unit, charging it in just at the right time and the right place. But as you see on the battlefield now, things might be changing a little bit. I'm starting to see more of Mystique's Julii infantry than I am seeing the enemy infantry now. So a lot of the enemy have been killed and routed, but they're still trying to get through these pike factions there. Now, there's a Macedon general's just gone down, and once again the Macedon morale is not that good. So that will lower the Macedon unit's morale as well now. So as you can see, with Talos's cavalry charges and some of the infantry he's got left, and Mystique's pressure that she's applying with her infantry as well, the battle might slowly be changing from what, to be honest with you, I thought was possibly going to be a loss for Mystique and Talos's team. But the battle has definitely seemed to be changing at the moment. But you see, Talos's general's just been routed there, so that's bad news for their team really, because obviously, as I said before, when a general routs, it tends to lower the morale of all their troops. And there's Pontus and Macedon pikemen still holding firm there. If you see that the Macedon general's bringing in archers at the rear of Talos's army there, that'd be a nice alt attack. Talos is still charging in that one cavalry unit there, because he knows every time that cavalry unit hits the enemy team, he gets a charge bonus for that, and that affects the morale of the enemy team too. But I'm starting to see some of Mystique's infantry starting to rout now. So this is all still up in the air. It still could go either way here. And as we know, these pikemen are pretty tough. There's another one of Mystique's units just gone. I think this battle's going to go right down to the wire. There's some more Julii, Mystique's infantry routing, and one Mastodon unit routing. If I was a betting man, I don't know where I put my money in this game so far. This is going to be really close. Now if you notice that the Pontus and Macedon spearmen are actually facing the Roman troops that are fighting, so what would be good would be to try and get some units in behind the Macedon pikemen if they can, but they've got so few troops left that trying to get in behind is not easy really, because they're already engaging at the front. I see Talos has actually rallied a couple of units that routed earlier, so he may be able to charge into the rear there. There's one Pontus unit that's just routed, and a Macedon unit. Things are looking pretty good. All the time that
the enemy army
that beast Titan has got fire arrows coming in onto Mystique and Talos' troop. And there we have the Macedon general has just routed. So the game is the battle is just looks like Talos, Mystique and Serena's team have managed to turn around a situation there that did look very serious at one time. As you can see, you can tell by the piles of dead how intense the battle was, and I think that for Serena, Mystique and Talos to do so well when it looked so bad for them, I thought was a great tactic. Now they're just going to start chasing down the archers now, so that was a really great game. Well, the first thing I'd like to say is that was one of the closest games that I've seen for a long time. That was really down to the wire, that game was, and the game moved to and fro, and for a long time it looked like Mystique, Serena and Talos' team were going to lose, but they managed to turn the battle around with great tactics, and that was a really great battle to watch. Really well done to the other team. The Greeks and Titan played extremely well, and really well done to Talos, Mystique and Serena. Mystique's moving her infantry, half her infantry around the rear of the enemy team was a great move there, and I think bringing the 20 infantry units was a really good move. And well done Talos with his cavalry hitting them all the time. This is Spartan Commander saying see you soon.